I just received a text message, I guess, from Hakeem Jeffries' campaign arm or his super PAC. I don't know which one. I get so many of them. And the gist of it is saying that, hey, our polling shows that we have a 1 point advantage over the Republicans in order to take over the House. And we need your help and your donation to take 3 seats, to flip 3 seats. And I'm sitting there thinking, a 1 point fucking lead? A 1 point lead? With all this negative energy going around about this administration and his cronies and Republicans, all y'all have is a 1 point lead. That's what your internal polling says. And what that tells me is that your Democratic base is not buying what you're selling. They're not buying that you're the person that's going to be able to lead the change that we're going to have to need, the dramatic restructuring and change that we need. They don't believe you'll fight. Because a 1 point lead shows that whatever you're selling, they don't believe in you. And it says something about you and the rest of the Democratic Congress people that not one of y'all can get out there and galvanize people and jump on all this information that you have and coalesce it, maybe except for AOC, Jasmine, who's no longer running for Congress, and Bernie. Not one of the black men that we know of in the Congress has the ability to galvanize people in our community to get out and vote. 13 million African Americans didn't vote in the last election. 13 million registered voters. Because they don't believe what you're saying. They don't believe that you have the moral authority to lead them. Because you haven't shown any place that you want to fight. And I believe, and it's because you lead from behind. I mean, how hard was it to say, I'm Hakeem Jeffries. These protests are going on in Minneapolis. I need to be there. Edwin Meeks needs to be there. Richie Torres needs to be there. They need to see our face leading the front. They need to see us confronting ICE. They need to see us telling ICE, yeah, we're just not going to stand by and let you do that. You can't just terrorize people. You lead from the back. And people see that. It's not that the people aren't out there. It's just that they don't have anybody to step up in Congress who's a rep. You shouldn't ask Bernie to do it. He's 80-something years old. He's already done it. He's already been at protest when he was younger. But you won't do it? And let me tell you why I think you won't do it. Particularly these 3 from New York. Because you are from New York. And you have a measure of safety if this shit all goes to pot. See, down here in the South, we don't have that measure of safety. They're going to try to turn back the tide, except for the buffers we have with some from allies that we have down here who are white, saying, no, we just can't stomach that. But other than that, but up in New York, you got that measure of safety, which is one of the reasons why you never come down to Atlanta. You aren't known in Atlanta. You aren't known in the South, where the majority of the African American population lives. You haven't been to Houston. How? How haven't you been to Houston? Mr. Speaker Jeffries, former Speaker Jeffries. How? How are you going to lead people that you don't seem to care to be around in a public way? You should be everywhere to there's black people. But because you're in New York, and if this doesn't go well, you can go back to the Bronx or Brooklyn or whatever your district is, and you could be relatively safe physically. But down here, we're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to deal with the indignities and the passive racism and the pushback of banks not giving us loans and and just the little small races and indignities that small towns in Georgia and Alabama, where a lot of black people have to deal with. So you haven't come down here where the majority of African Americans reside. So people don't believe in you. So can you please just get out the way? Like, you don't have to resign, but let somebody else take over the public facing. Surely somebody in our caucus is talented enough and charismatic enough to get people out to say, I want to go hear this person speak. Surely you're going to have to put aside a whole bunch of stuff, unfortunately, and find you probably a male that can galvanize people. Surely you can get down here and gather all these African American ministers or find somebody that can galvanize their base and tell them to get their fucking egos out the way, that this is an existential threat. The house is on fire. Because if you can't, please move. You're from New York. You done been on the playgrounds in New York and shot basketball. When you can't get it done on the court, you gotta get off the court. You damn sure not gonna be the point guard. You have an opponent right now that's reeling. You got ice in Atlanta, and you haven't come to Atlanta? Or is there some big secret meeting that the average Joe Blow doesn't know about? That y'all got some secret strategy that's working? That sounds crazy on the surface. In my opinion, you're just not the right person in this moment in time. You want to be, but you're not. Shit, I want to be Michael Jordan, but I'm not. But because you're safe in New York, because of if all this comes to pass and we don't have elections or we have some kind of compromised elections in November, and they have flipped over the election process in the South because you didn't have the balls. I'm not talking about procedurally, because we know it's in the Senate, that you didn't have the balls to get out there and talk about it and get black people to say, under no circumstances can you let them take this from us. I don't think you're the person for it. But you sending me text. 1 point? I'm just flabbergasted. You got a 1 point lead. That's what your internal polling says. The opponent is making all the mistakes that we said he would make, and you got a 1 point lead. And I'm telling you, it's because people don't see you as leading from the front. They see you as comfortable and safe. They don't see you at the protests. They don't see you putting your life on the line or your body on the line like Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Diane Nash, James Bevel, Ella Baker, Joanne Robinson. They don't see it. And they never gonna follow you if they can't believe in you. So please move. Please give somebody else a chance before it's too late. Please. We got it. 10 months. 9, really. Please move.